Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to your ultimate destination for all things Dallas Cowboys. From the latest news, game analyses, rumors, to deep dives into player performances and strategies, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a play. Let's dive into everything you need to know about America's team. The tension in Dallas has reportedly reached a boiling point, as whispers from inside the locker room suggest that the relationship between the Cowboys' offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and tight end Jake Ferguson has deteriorated to an unprecedented level. Sources close to the team claim that after yet another frustrating practice, Schottenheimer lost his temper publicly, allegedly declaring, "He doesn't play for me anymore," in reference to Ferguson. The statement, whether fully accurate or partially exaggerated, has immediately sparked a whirlwind of speculation among fans, analysts, and former players alike, painting a picture of a locker room on the verge of implosion. Insiders indicate that this is not the first time tension between coaching staff and players has bubbled over, but the intensity of this particular dispute suggests a deeper, more personal clash of philosophies. The timing could not be worse, with the Cowboys trying to solidify their offensive identity and build cohesion during a critical period of the season, and yet now internal drama threatens to undermine any progress on the field. Rumors are swirling that the coaching staff is already considering how to manage the situation without further inflaming the fire, possibly by adjusting playing time or forcing Ferguson into a limited role, but the players' reaction remains unclear and potentially volatile. The mere suggestion that a key contributor might be frozen out of the offense has sent shockwaves across social media, with fans debating whether this could be a turning point in the team's morale and performance, or just another chapter in the ongoing saga of high-pressure dynamics in Dallas. Analysts are already speculating on what could have triggered the outburst, citing everything from Ferguson's recent on-field struggles to disagreements over route execution, blocking assignments, or even personality clashes that have grown over time. Insiders hint that Schottenheimer, known for his meticulous approach to offensive schemes and insistence on discipline, may have reached his breaking point after repeated frustrations that he perceives as Ferguson not fully embracing his system. While Ferguson has shown flashes of potential in the past, sources close to the team claim that there have been recurring issues with consistency, attentiveness in practice, and alignment with the coaching staff's expectations. The alleged confrontation reportedly involved a heated exchange, with Schottenheimer's frustration spilling over in front of other players, which only magnifies the optics of discord. Speculation is growing about how the team's leadership, including head coach Mike McCarthy, will navigate the situation, balancing the need to maintain authority and discipline with the necessity of keeping a promising young player engaged and productive. In the world of professional football, where narratives can shift overnight, the fallout from such a statement could be significant, potentially impacting trade rumors, depth chart decisions, and even locker room alliances. Some pundits are already framing this as a test of Schottenheimer's leadership style, questioning whether his approach is sustainable when faced with a player who has shown both talent and moments of defiance. Meanwhile, Ferguson's camp is reportedly assessing options, weighing whether compliance and patience will lead to reinstatement or whether the tension is too deep to repair without a structural change in his role. Speculative chatter in sports media circles hints that the situation might not remain contained for long, as opposing teams could see an opportunity to exploit perceived weaknesses in Dallas's offensive unity. Adding to the drama, sources claim that the incident did not occur in isolation, but as part of a broader pattern of friction in Dallas this season, with multiple players allegedly experiencing moments of disagreement or tension with coaching directives. The Cowboys have historically navigated controversies with a mix of discretion and assertiveness, but this latest development may test the organization's capacity for damage control. Analysts speculate that the timing is particularly delicate because Ferguson's position as a tight end is pivotal for both blocking schemes and red zone efficiency, meaning any disruption could have cascading effects on overall offensive production. Rumors circulating in insider circles suggest that Schottenheimer has been increasingly vocal about perceived deficiencies in execution, possibly causing a sense of alienation among players who feel scrutinized under a microscope. Conversations on sports talk shows are already dissecting the potential ripple effects, with some suggesting that this could lead to a mid-season reassessment of personnel priorities or even adjustments in the offensive playbook to accommodate the fallout. Meanwhile, fans are voicing strong opinions on social media, with factions forming around both the coach and the player, reflecting the intensity of the speculation and the degree to which this issue has captured public attention. Sources indicate that even veteran players are reportedly weighing in privately, attempting to mediate or at least gauge the potential for escalation, as locker room harmony is always a critical factor in maintaining performance under pressure. The swirling rumors, unconfirmed though they may be, already create a narrative of tension and uncertainty, suggesting that Dallas could be on the cusp of a storyline that dominates headlines for weeks, if not months. Behind the scenes, speculation is intensifying regarding the potential outcomes of such a confrontation. Some insiders argue that if Schottenheimer's stance remains firm, Ferguson could face reduced snaps, reassignment, or even be considered for trade discussions. Conversely, others speculate that McCarthy might step in to mediate, seeking to avoid a public spectacle and preserve the team's long-term offensive cohesion. Sports commentators are already drawing parallels to past conflicts in the NFL, suggesting that a highly publicized disagreement between coach and player can either strengthen the team's discipline or destabilize the locker room entirely. Analysts are closely examining practice reports, noting subtle signs of tension in interactions, body language, and positional drills that might corroborate the rumors. Meanwhile, the media frenzy continues to escalate, with conflicting accounts of the alleged statements fueling debates over accuracy, intent, and potential consequences. The intrigue is further compounded by the absence of official statements, creating an environment ripe for speculation, conjecture, and opinion-based reporting, all of which amplify the story's visibility. Sources suggest that internal conversations within the organization are ongoing, with scouts, assistant coaches, and team executives assessing not only the immediate tactical implications, but also the broader psychological impact on team morale. The speculation around this incident also raises questions about leadership dynamics within Dallas. Schottenheimer's authority as a coordinator has traditionally commanded respect, but the rumored public nature of the confrontation might undermine his influence if players perceive his approach as overly rigid or reactionary. On the other hand, Ferguson's reputation as a talented, hard-working tight end could embolden him to resist full acquiescence, creating a tension that becomes a focal point for media narratives and fan discussions. Sources close to the organization hint that internal discussions are not merely about football strategy, but also about interpersonal management, communication styles, and conflict resolution, highlighting the complex interplay between talent, personality, and authority. Meanwhile, rumor mills continue to churn, offering hypothetical scenarios ranging from temporary benching to trade possibilities and even speculations about coaching adjustments or staff reassignments to stabilize the situation. The stakes are high, not just in terms of on-field performance, but also regarding the perception of Dallas as an organization capable of handling internal crises professionally. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting every snippet of information, weighing the credibility of sources, and projecting the potential ripple effects across the remainder of the season. The story's momentum shows no signs of slowing, as each new rumor, confirmed or otherwise, fuels a narrative that seems increasingly difficult for the Cowboys to contain internally. The tension has not escaped the attention of former players and commentators, many of whom have speculated on social media about the implications of such an incident. Some argue that Schottenheimer's outburst, if accurate, may signal a broader issue in leadership philosophy, where strict adherence to systems clashes with player individuality and adaptability. Others suggest that Ferguson, despite his youth and relative inexperience, may need to navigate the pressures of professional expectations, public scrutiny, and organizational politics simultaneously, creating a perfect storm for controversy. Analysts note that the psychological impact on teammates cannot be underestimated, as witnessing public conflict can influence trust, morale, and cohesion within a group. Sources speculate that this could lead to subtle changes in practice intensity, play calling decisions, and even off-field relationships as the organization attempts to recalibrate and manage the narrative. Meanwhile, the rumor has ignited a storm of debate among fans, commentators, and former players, with some framing Ferguson as a victim of harsh coaching tactics and others emphasizing the necessity of discipline and accountability in a competitive league. The ambiguity surrounding the situation only fuels speculation further, leaving everyone, from insiders to fans, wondering how Dallas will navigate the potential fallout, maintain performance standards, and address questions about leadership, talent management, and organizational culture. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Finally, insiders suggest that the incident could have long-term implications beyond the immediate season. If unresolved, the tension between Schottenheimer and Ferguson might influence future draft decisions, contract negotiations, and even the strategic direction of the offensive scheme. Speculation abounds regarding whether the organization will prioritize short-term discipline over long-term development, or whether a compromise can be brokered that satisfies both sides. The story's evolution is being closely monitored, with experts predicting that the next few weeks will be critical in determining whether this episode becomes a cautionary tale or a catalyst for change within Dallas. Rumors continue to swirl about meetings behind closed doors, potential interventions by management, and strategies for restoring harmony, all of which add layers of intrigue and suspense. The situation has already become a dominant talking point in sports media, with narratives evolving by the hour and fans dissecting every morsel of information for hints of resolution or escalation. Whether this becomes a mere footnote in a turbulent season or a defining moment in the careers of those involved remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Dallas has found itself at the center of one of the most compelling stories of internal conflict in recent memory, and speculation will continue to thrive until clarity emerges. Speculation is now intensifying about the potential ripple effects of the alleged clash between Brian Schottenheimer and Jake Ferguson on the Cowboys' locker room culture. Sources close to the organization suggest that the tension might not be limited to the two individuals involved, but could influence the broader team dynamic, particularly among younger players who are trying to find their place in a high-pressure environment. Rumors indicate that some veterans may feel caught in the middle, attempting to mediate or at least assess how best to align themselves with either the coaching staff or Ferguson. Analysts are already drawing lines of potential influence, pondering whether the conflict could subtly alter player hierarchies or create factions within the team, especially in the absence of public clarification from either Schottenheimer or the front office. Some insiders hint that the coaching staff is reportedly brainstorming contingency plans, including potential reallocation of responsibilities, temporary benching, or even rethinking the offensive scheme entirely to minimize friction while maintaining effectiveness. Fans are watching closely, dissecting snippets of practice footage and interviews for signs of tension, feeding a cycle of speculation that thrives on ambiguity and the possibility of dramatic consequences. Meanwhile, trade rumors and roster adjustments are being theorized, with some suggesting that a short-term compromise may involve limiting Ferguson's snap count, while longer-term solutions are debated behind closed doors. The evolving narrative has essentially transformed into a psychological chess game, where each decision, reaction, and public statement, or lack thereof, can magnify the stakes and fuel the ongoing storm of discussion across social media, sports shows, and insider reports. Reports indicate that if the tension between Schottenheimer and Ferguson remains unresolved, it could have direct implications for game day strategy. Some analysts speculate that Ferguson might find himself in reduced rotations, with coaches reportedly exploring alternatives in the tight end position to maintain offensive fluidity. Sources hint at potential shifts in blocking assignments, route trees, or red zone schemes as a way to minimize dependency on a player who may currently be considered uncooperative within the system. Rumors also suggest that team meetings could be increasingly tense, with assistant coaches and position coaches navigating a delicate balance between supporting the coordinator and maintaining player engagement. Observers are pointing out that these internal dynamics could impact performance in subtle ways, from timing between quarterback and receiver to cohesion on critical third-down situations. Meanwhile, speculation about whether management will intervene has sparked debates over accountability and leadership hierarchy, with fans weighing the merits of discipline versus flexibility. Some insiders suggest that Ferguson's camp is closely monitoring the situation, potentially preparing to advocate for clarity, resolution, or even alternative career paths if tensions are not defused. Analysts are framing the scenario as a test of the organization's ability to manage conflict under the public microscope, questioning whether Dallas can prevent internal disagreements from spilling over into on-field consequences, or if this incident could become emblematic of deeper cultural issues. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.